Alright, so two of the combat relics have been revealed, and I have made a few mistakes in the last video, so I want to quickly correct that. So to start off with this image, right, there is 6 relics, presumably, and I'm not sure if it's 7 or 6. I'm not sure if the tier 1 relic is something that you get automatically, and then you get 6 more after that, or if it's the tier 1 relic you have to unlock, and then you get 5 more after that, or however many, right? But based off this image, there is 6, and we know this because what I didn't notice is there was a scroll bar at the bottom. So presumably there is a 6th relic or a 7th relic that is available that I wasn't aware of, and this changed how I did my breakdown of where I think these relics go, because it now pushed tier 5 up. The invention and production master relics, right? These two relics over here, they were originally here. They were originally here. That's where I did them. But now that I know that there's more relics available, and there might be more than 6 or even 7, who knows? I pushed them back to tier 5. I pushed them forward to tier 5, and that's where these new 2 relics come in. And if I can find them, there they are. The combat relics. So let's go ahead and look at the combat relics. They're very similar, and they both share the same melee basic attack, generates double adren. Melee basic attack and special attacks are reduced by 20%. I think that's the cooldown. Yeah, that's the cooldown. And they have the same hit chance. So the first 3 effects are the same between melee and range. However, the additional effects are kind of unique to them. So range gets single target range attacks will also be casted up to 9 additional enemies, which makes range a very AoE heavy clear relic, which I'm thinking this could be a very quick way to level up ranged. Particularly range could be the best combat style if magic doesn't get anything similar to this, or if necromancy doesn't get anything similar to this, because this is very early game, right? Single target attacks. Range doesn't have that many, if I remember correctly, range doesn't have that many AoE effects. So I know magic has Dragon Breath and Chains, which are AoE and they are basic abilities, and I think range only has the AoE. I can't remember the name, but there's a basic one, and then there's also a threshold one. That's the only ranged AoE abilities that they have. So this could be a good thing for ranged, and 50% chance to save ammunition in combat. I think this is fake news. I don't think it's actually really that useful, considering how much ammunition you burn through. Maybe it is for the end game, which I'm not experienced. I'm not an end game PVMer. I'm very casual when it comes to PVMing. But that's about that. But when I look at the melee one, I should say, it's actually more interesting, and I'm actually more excited about melee right now. So melee weapon attack ranges is increased by 1. So that means everything that dual wielding is now range 2, and your halberd range is now range 3. So this is a big buff for anything from the get-go, right? Because you don't have to quickly worry about getting that 2 range weapons. You can just sit on dual wielding weapons for the most part. And melee also gets the base damage increase to 500. I'm not sure how that works. Again, I'm not an endgame PVMer. I'm assuming the base damage just increases, so you just get plus 500 on the damage that you already get on the weapon, which is really good buff. And you also get 10% healing, which that's crazy when you think about it, because melee has a few things that magic and range don't, and that's one of the things is the healing, right? It gets healing, which is interesting, right? Because this stacks with vampirism, presumably, and soul split. So vampirism, you get the 5%, and I don't know how much soul split is off the top of my head, but you get a lot of healing from this. And what I'm thinking is this would give a great opportunity for players to just go put the foot on the gas and go melee, because that's kind of like the melee's identity, where you do a lot of damage but you also take a lot of damage, but you can negate that with healing effectively, right? Which I'm actually looking forward to, and this is probably the most excited relic I've been. The most excited I've been for a relic, because it's actually it looks like it's double downing on melee strengths, which is why when we get to here, this is now the new tier list that I have, not the tier list, the breakdown of the relics that I have. Again, I'm going to reference this image again, the original image. It looks like the tier 4 relics are the combat relics. I'm not sure if Necromancy is going to get its relic, because Necromancy generally is very overtuned in the sense that it is the most convenient style for players to go and get. It's really fast to level as well, so it has all these benefits. So they may not give Necromancy a relic because of that, but they might still do it anyway. I'm not sure. So based off of all of that, I think the combat relics are tier 4. They're tier 4. Again, I'm going to reference this image again. You can see on the tier 4 relics on the split out image that the middle one is blue, or like green, blue-greenish. And that lines up with the range icon that we see right here. So I think this is going to be the new tier 4. I'm going to update it. If there is a 7th relic, if there is a 7th tier, I will then have to update that. But this is where I currently stand. I did move the other 2 relics, the Invention and what's this one called? The Invention Crafting one. I'm just going to call it the Crafting one to tier 5, because if we go back to the image, tier 5 only has 2 relics. So this might be accurate. This might be the most accurate I've been so far. I still stand by the fact that, Divine Woodcutter is probably the best relic for general convenience, because it seems to me that it has the most utility out of all of them. And then after that, I think it's between Agility and the Farming Relic. And again, we don't know what tier 3 has other than the Banker's Note, so I'm not sure there. Tier 4, I'm probably going to go for the Melee, because Melee looks exciting and fun, and I want to try that out. And I'm not sure about tier 5. Again, if anything new comes out, I will update this. Anyway, thank you for watching.